Why did Anti become so popular all of a sudden? Well, the stuff that happened in October was a huge success and a huge hit with people. And people are just hungry for more constantly. So anytime there's a mention of them, people are always like chomping at the bit to try and get more information and to get more appearances and stuff like that, which is super cool. I love that. I love that people are still into it. Hey Sean, where did you get the idea for Anti, and what do you think about what it has turned into with Markiplier? The Anti thing came out because of Tumblr and DeviantArt and some people on Twitter. Because it became a thing, because Markiplier was around for ages. I was like back when Mark did like Raspy Hill on his channel. And then people started making Markiplier, which was like a evil alter ego of him for any time he did like creepy things. And then that was years ago. That was like 3-4 years ago. And then people, when I started doing some horror games again, and I started like acting like I was killing people and enjoying it in some of the games, people start drawing the Anti character, like Antisepticeye, as my evil version. Like, oh, that's who Jack turns into when he gets elated when he kills people. And then it kind of took on a life of its own, and people actually started canonically drawing a figmentation of what he would look like. And then other people went with that, and they're like, oh, that's what you think it looked like. I was getting a different idea. I drew it like this. And then it just became this amalgam of different things. So I was like, that's cool. I like that. I always liked the art that people were drawing of it. So I kind of just rolled with the idea. And then Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location was coming out. And I always wanted to do something with the Five Nights at Freddy's games anyway, because nobody watched my series kind of the way they'd watch, like, Mark's series. Like, there was some people that people would watch specifically for Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, when that game came out, people would go to a very specific YouTuber for it. And I never really had that. So I thought I could have a bit of fun with it. And I was late to Sister Location anyway, so I was like, okay, people aren't going to watch this anyway, so let's spice it up a bit. So I started doing glitchy shit. And then that kind of fed into the Anti stuff. And then people on Tumblr started going crazy with it and making up all these sorts of theories. So I started working in all the different versions of what people had done kind of into the character over, because it was a month-long thing. It wasn't just like, I didn't just throw like a scar on my neck and then talk into a camera all evil and have Robin edit it the way it was. It was a month-long thing where it was progressively like filtering into the channel. It was proliferating in more and more, and it was getting more toxic, and the more people talked about it, the stronger it got, sort of thing. So we kind of ran with that idea, and I started, because I always love Easter eggs. I love Easter eggs, I love theories, I love conspiracies. It's one of the reasons why Lost is one of my favorite TV shows. I love when people find like the hidden thing. Like, people upload something and then it's like, oh, we, like the Sombra ARG that went around for Overwatch. And people were like picking out stuff instantly with that. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I love those types of events. So I started making one with Anti, where I started putting the text in here and there. I put the text on certain posts. I would reblog stuff. I would reblog art of Anti without saying anything. Like, he was the one doing it. And then I started changing like Twitter. The Twitter thing turned into Antisepticeye, with the Anti part being the weird glitchy text. And then profile pictures were changing. And then there's some actual videos, if you go back during that month, where some of the tags are actually like that I don't think anyone noticed. And then stuff at the bottom of the descriptions were like that. Then some parts of titles started to change. There was little glitches here and there in the videos. So it kept building up and up and up over the entire month. All actual calculated stuff. And it worked super well. And then some people came up and started connecting things here and there. So we were like, oh, that's really cool. Let's run with that. So it was a huge effort. And a huge community effort. And it worked out really well. Because it was like the community starting it out. Then I kind of rolled with that. And then the community came up with other things. And then I rolled with that. So it was this big back and forth. The community fed into what I was doing. And then what I did fed back into the community. And it was this really cool creative feedback loop that I really dug on. And then Robin got some inspirations for the edits and everything. So much fucking fun. I love that a lot. And there's always that like temptation to go back, because that was a thing. That was like the most successful thing I've ever done on the channel, was that whole event. And it's the thing I'm most proud of. And like so many people were talking about it. And it got me so hyped and everything. And it's so easy to fall back into that. And I know people would just eat that shit up forever if I did it constantly. But I'm trying to restrain myself. I'm trying to hold back and not do it all the time. Because I'd easily be able to do it in like all the horror games I'm playing. But it's too easy then. I'd rather do it where it's unexpected. It's a surprise. It's something different. It's something new. It's not just the same shit over and over again. Because then it gets boring. And then it loses its oomph. That's why we did it at PAX as well, because no one was waiting for that, and it was just a cool way to open up the show, and I really liked that, and the reaction to it was phenomenal. I think the reaction to that video is probably one of my biggest highlights of the channel, and I couldn't believe that. I had never seen anything like that before, with anything that I had done, anything that we had done, I should say. It wasn't just me doing it. It was the community helping out, and Robin is like the other half of that project, if not more. That dude worked his fucking ass off with that, and it really pays off, and it's nice to see, and I'm glad he was there as well to get that sort of feedback on that too. It was awesome. I love that. And I know people really want more of it. I'm trying to just hold back and wait, because I could do it, but would it really be that spectacular if I just did it for no reason out of nowhere? I don't know. I kind of need a reason to do it. I need something cool to do it for. There was another part of that question. What was it? Oh, they asked about the Darkiplier stuff as well. That was another thing that kind of like branched out of that, like unintentionally. Because a lot of people took the PAX video that we did, the anti thing, where I was like, did you miss me? Like, I've been here all along. You pushed me aside. Someone replaced me, kind of thing. And people thought that was the Darkiplier stuff. That like Anti was responding to that, which it wasn't. It was Anti responding to Jack. That Jack had like come back after the Halloween thing. And that he was the one replacing Anti again. Because the whole idea was Anti was like taking over the channel. And then he like popped up and killed Jack. And then Jack came back. So it was like, oh, Jack was replaced. Or Anti was replaced then with Jack again. So everyone took it as a Darkiplier jab, which it wasn't. And now every time Mark does something with Darkiplier, people are like, balls in your court. Like, no, don't turn it into that. Don't turn it into this weird competitive pissing contest between me and Mark. Just let it roll. Let it slide. Let it be the fun that it is.